Hey guys, welcome back. You're still tuned into Trading Hour for the markets. It's just around 25 points higher right now, but it is the mid-cap index which is really managing to outperform today with a gain of around 0.5%. But let's do one thing. We'll focus on the auto parts industry now. The sector clocked in record turnover of over 4 lakh crore rupees in FY22. This is according to the Automotive Component Manufacturers Association of India. So let's invite Sunjay Kapur, who's president of the ACMA, as well as chairman of Sona Comstar, to discuss the sector's performance and key trends going forward. Sanjay, good morning and thanks a lot for joining us. This is Pavitra. So, like we were pointing out, there's been a huge turnover in FY22. We saw growth of around 24% almost. Can you tell us what we can expect this time going forward in, for all of FY23?
Thanks, Pavitra. Good morning. And, we've seen good growth, almost pre-pandemic levels. Revenues went up to $56 billion, which is very close to what it was pre-pandemic. We've seen great demand, strong demand, and we're coming off, in a much easier situation as far as supply side is concerned. We were constrained with several headwinds, in the last couple of years, with the chip shortage, with logistics, with high raw material price increases. However, some of these headwinds have eased up, and we're seeing good demand, and that's what's fueling the growth in the auto component space.
Hi, Sanjay. Morning. But what are you likely to do now for FY23 and 24 overall? And also, I think exports has seen a big surge. So can that sort of a run rate continue into the coming years?
Yeah, in exports, we've seen a continuous growth, which has been very encouraging. And that gives me to believe that this growth will continue. We have no reason to believe that the growth will slow down, given the fact that demand is strong across the board. Specifically in India, we're seeing great demand. We've seen a 30% increase in commercial vehicles and 20% in passenger car. We've also seen growth in the aftermarket, which again is very encouraging. And of course, growth is, in terms of export, as you said, we've had a 40% growth, 43% growth, and it's up to $19 billion, whereas imports is lower than the exports, which is a good sign for us.
Okay, hi Sanjay. What about the EV? That's the most spicy part, I think, of the industry as of now. So the order wins for the EV segment, I think the auto component sales to EV, that's right around 3,500 crores, but that accounted for just 1%. How do you see this number moving? Because from a stock market perspective, from an economy perspective, everyone's interested in this space. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. The volume of EV today is very small globally. So it's in line with what is happening globally, maybe a little lower, in fact. However, this space is growing. We're seeing a lot of investment in terms of the auto component space. With regards to EV, the capex cycle is on, and if you look at capital expenditure, most of it is going towards future technologies, and that includes electric vehicles. So we're hoping to see growth in this area, and we will continue to see growth as OEMs move towards electric vehicle platforms.
All right, Sanjay, another topic that we have been discussing so much is the entire energy crisis playing out in Europe. We've seen the euro also get devalued. Of course, we're seeing what's happening with electricity there. How do you think this could impact a lot of the Indian companies which have exposure to these markets, the likes of Motherson Sumi, Endurance Tech? How do you see costs playing out for them?
So, the fact that Europe is going through a crisis and there is a conflict, it will have an impact on sales. Volumes will drop in Europe. However, as India is positioned in a great space with regards to export, and we've seen export grow, other markets are growing. So as other markets grow, capacity gets diverted into other markets. So we're hoping that it doesn't have a very big impact, and we're hoping that the conflict is resolved sooner than later. However, at this point in time, we are not seeing a significant impact, but if this continues, we will see an impact in terms of volumes from the European market.
Sanjay, raw material prices would have cooled off, right? So, are they back now to that pre-COVID kind of levels, or at least, how much has the easing off been?
Yeah, so raw material prices have softened. Overall, if you look at raw material, it's mostly a pass-through for most of the component companies. So, we've had that benefit. However, raw material prices, we do see some softening in raw material prices, and this should definitely help us.
Okay, all right. Sanjay, before we let you go, one final question. You had a new listing, the company that you head, Sona BLW. And out there you had a PE investor that took some money off the table. What's the way forward for them? Because I think they sold close to around 13% odd. They still have a large chunk in the company. Any communication from there? And by the way, it's created a lot of wealth as well. I recall when the IPO came, it listed more or less flattish, but from there on, it's been in electrifying mode. So could you give us a sense about what's Blackstone's strategy?
Nigel, I'll let them answer that question, and I'll answer the questions for the industry.
Communication to you.
Thank you.
Any communication to you till now? Or
no, none. This is more for me. I'm more focusing more on the industry and the numbers in the industry.
We appreciate that. Thanks so much, Sanjay, for stopping by and filling us in with your quick take on how the industry is shaping up. Raw material costs are cooling off a little bit, and there's tremendous scope for the electric vehicle spaces.